Welcome to A Date with Design. I'm Arielle Ralph.
And I'm Jill Chilton. We're two interior designers and longtime friends who are obsessed with all things design, hospitality and creative living.
A Date with Design is your go-to check-in for interiors, inspiration and the unfiltered reality of life as designers.
Whether you're a designer, a foodie, or just love a good vibe, pull up a chair and settle in.
Episode 2. It's called Do Not Disturb, and it's all about deep diving into our recent trip to Melbourne and tours of hotels.
Yes.
And I thought I'd kick it off with a dirty martini this week.
Nice.
I feel like when I think of hotels, a dirty martini is not something I drink often. It's like going to a hotel. I don't do that often either. So I thought,
But you wish you could.
I know. Maybe there'll be more of these trips.
Yeah.
So in case you've never made a dirty martini before, today I'm going to share the recipe.
Yeah.
So start with a shaker, some nice ice cubes. They recommend about 4 ice cubes per drink.
Okay.
Then we're doing 15 mils of olive brine to get the dirtiness.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's what a clean martini classic.
So you just
bartenders out there, please send in your
and make sure you get the green Sicilian olives. So you pour a little bit of that. So we're making 2 at the moment, and then we've got vermouth. I'm using an Italian vermouth.
Nice.
So we'll put the recipe in the notes.
So is this a gin martini or vodka martini?
It's a gin martini.
Okay.
We're using Byron's lovely Brookie's gin today.
Yep. Great.
Okay.
Very cool. So I guess, to kick off the episode, we always like to kick off with a bit of small talk. So what's a good small talk question? Since we're talking about hotels today, what do you I guess we wear many hats, as mums, as interior designers, as, just your regular average Joe. Like every sort of holiday has its different kind of requirements, and you're looking for different things in your accommodation, whether it be that if you're on a family trip or a romantic getaway or, a designer girlies trip. But I guess today we're putting on our designer hats, aren't we?
That's right.
So what is it that we look for in a hotel when we go to stay?
And when we say this is what would an interior designer, want in a hotel?
Yeah, yeah.
Which, obviously
We're all different, but
yeah,
I think there's some key things that we look for, that signal, this has been thought about. Yeah. So I guess I'll start off with a few things that I like in a hotel design. Obviously, you want the comforts of a home away from home, but for me, I don't want it to feel like my home. I want it to be like a unique experience. So something I can't get at home, finishes that I wouldn't normally, choose for my house, but, something that's bold, inspiring, that just, creates that sort of bit of difference, like a change is as good as a holiday.
Yeah. Well, we went to the Ace Hotel last year in Sydney, which it's been on our wish list for a long time, and it was a really amazing hotel.
Yeah, so that was designed by Flax Studio.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't judge me out there if you're a pro. I've done my best.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure it's
let's see
awesome.
how we go.
This is almost like the logo for A Date with Design, isn't it?
Same shape glass.
Yeah, very fitting.
Okay, here
Cheers.
we go. Cheers.
Dirty. Get down and
I
dirty.
feel nervous.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's
Not
actually
bad, Ari.
pretty good.
You've done well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
Yeah. So I like it to be different to what I can get at home, like an inspiring space. I think it's great when hotels, they really play on their location where they are, whether it's, through, the contents of their minibar, the vibe of the location, really harnessing that and tying it into the interiors. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the experience, when you're checking into a hotel, you're in a good mood, it's exciting, you're in a new city or you're celebrating a special occasion. It's sort of like you want to open the door and straight away, like it just kickstarts you into that excited feeling. So, I open the door, first thing I'm looking for, I guess, is pops of colour. I don't want just a boring neutral room. Greenery is really cool. Like at the Ace Hotel, there were rooms that even had guitars in them.
Yeah.
Like they had these really great finishes that you wouldn't expect on the walls. The bed head's a big one for me. Like it has to look, nice and clean and polished. But I love like little elements of personalisation that give it that character. So vintage pieces or a nice designer wall light.
Yeah.
Things that you sort of think, well, I mean, you almost want to stay in a hotel that you're paying so much for the room to actually experience and enjoy being in the room.
Exactly.
Rather than just.
Not just somewhere where you rest your head at night, pretty much. Like I think that's probably a big, push for hotels at the moment where they're really sort of paying a bit more attention to the rooms and like thinking about things that they can do to the design to actually encourage, people to really enjoy the experience inside the room. Yeah.
Yeah, and to rebook.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
tell all their friends to book the hotel.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's no longer just four walls and a bed. There's the expectation out there from people is a lot higher now. And then also communal spaces. So the lobby experience, the check-in, all of the lift lobbies, and then the rooftop. So I thought today, we're both really passionate about hotel and hospitality design, that we just unpack our recent trip. Yeah. And which was to Melbourne.
Yeah, yep.
But before we do that, should we just share a little bit more, go a bit deeper into, current hotel trends and designs and sort of from our research and even just being out down in Melbourne, what were some of those really important factors that you felt stood out when we did our hotel tours?
Yeah, well, I feel like now there's like a real push to move away from the cookie cutter design of, chain hotels. And even, there's nothing wrong with a chain hotel, but I find that even their designs now are becoming a bit more hyper-local, like, location specific, and they're really tailoring their look and feel to where the hotel actually is, what country, what town, what city. So I think that's something which I think is a great thing. Because it's kind of like it's the home base that you use when you're on holiday or a work trip, and it is the sort of the first place where you're getting that introduction to that new town or city that you're staying in. Yeah, I think there's a big movement towards like the lobbies being a bit more than just a transitional space, like a big hall that you walk from front door through to the lift and up to your room. Like I think people are seeing that these lobbies can be so much more. They're almost used as like community lounge rooms.
And community engagement.
Yeah, like the Ace Hotel is a perfect example. We were there and you could tell like it was just full of locals.
Yeah.
Like a beautiful like 70s lounge room vibe.
Sunken lounge, the big sort of communal banquets, DJ booth.
Yeah.
And then we even had a drink on the Friday night down there, and we did notice a lot of just people that didn't look, maybe they were staying in the hotel, but I do feel like there were a lot of like on the way to dinner and they're popping in for a nice drink, listening to some music.
Exactly. Like it was like a place to meet your friends beforehand, before the night out. But I think, hotel brands they're seeing that there's so many more opportunities of what these spaces could be. Like, you're talking about co-working spaces, people can hold their lunch meetings there. You can book a space for a, private function or, workshop, that sort of thing.
That's right. And then you've got the wellness elements, which are huge.
Oh, yeah.
So, the ice baths, the saunas, the steam rooms. Then you've got the massage rooms, the gym, rooftop areas, breakout spaces, pools, spas. They're major draw cards, I think,
yeah, it's a massive bonus, isn't it?
And especially in the Australian lifestyle, we've got the climate.
Yeah.
Most of our cities can cater for rooftop hotels. Yeah. And once again, we'll touch on this in Melbourne, but, we're looking at holding potential design retreats down the track. So we're looking at sort of function rooms as well, and not just your typical function room. We want somewhere that's really unique,
inspiring,
probably connected to the nature side of things. And the local community. So when we went to Melbourne, we were looking at it through that lens as well, not just from checking into a hotel room. We're looking at it from a more of a commercial side.
A more like holistic experience of being there, isn't it?
Well, that's right. I mean, I guess when people are booking hotels, it isn't just for the private holiday. It could be for work trips, or there's so many different reasons.
And I think that's why, like, you know, the lobby as a community lounge room really does work, because if you're there as a solo person, you just might be there for a work trip, you know, you might want to like be surrounded by people, but you don't necessarily know anyone. But you can go down to the lobby, you know, have a drink, or you might even have your laptop with you, and you can be a part of that human connection. You might strike up a conversation with someone else who's staying there, so you still get that nice sort of connection, because I really believe that connection, it translates to like return visits and return income. Like if you're connected with a place, and if you've got a positive connection with a building or an experience, you're going to book again. So I think, you know, that's a great way to go about it. Yeah.
The other element that I really love about hotels, and what sort of we're seeing at the moment, is the branding and how that's a huge key in the overall experience and sort of what the hotel is really pitching to. So, you know, if it is a really minimal, luxury, high-end hotel, the branding's going to reflect that, you know, and it's going to come through, and everything from the linen to the menus to the compendium, everything like that. So, you know, when you're out next time and you're traveling around, really take note of some of those real tactile elements. For instance, I love the leather-bound compendium at Ace Hotel.
Yes.
And they had those little touches, you know, and it was
stationery postcards, even like just like
the typewriter,
the branded lead pencil.
That's right. All of these little touch points that, you know, gives it that talking point, and it's unique and different. So I think the more creative and unique and different the branding is, it sort of tells you before you book, okay, this is going to be a really special hotel, something different.
And they're almost like, you might not use the postcard while you're there, but it's almost like a little keepsake, a branding keepsake to take home. You know, I brought my son, he's obsessed with, you know, graphic design, and like he's only 6 years old, but he loves logos. So wherever I go, I collect little coasters.
That's
because
cute.
he loves all the different logos from all the different places that I go. And so after we returned from Sydney, I was like, oh, I'll take these home for LV. And that was great.
No, that's nice. Okay, so we might kick off with our next segment, which is the main course.
Yes, the meat of the podcast.
The meat. So we've decided to feature two of the beautiful hotels that we visited in Melbourne. Yeah. The first one is Melbourne Place, and the other one is Standard X. So we thought we'd just chat about it side by side rather than talking about one and talking about the other. We'll do a little bit of a comparison.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. So Hyde Melbourne Place, that's pretty much in the CBD of Melbourne, was designed by Kennedy Nolan. And then Standard X Hotel is up in Fitzroy, and that was designed by Hecker Guthrie, both Australian design firms.
That we love and admire.
Yeah, big fan of their work. Yeah. So we want to start like first impressions as we sort of first, you know, externally, you know, the architecture on both properties was like amazing. I think they were both new builds. And like for me, I loved the warm brick of Hyde Melbourne Place that Kennedy Nolan selected. It was, I just loved the tone of it.
Yeah, and when it comes to the architecture, Woods Bagot actually did the architecture of Standard X.
Yeah, that's
our old firm that we used to work at. Yeah. And they did beautiful Corten steel facades. So quite different. You know, we've got a brick building and then a steel building, but they both had that, you know, it didn't feel cold. So it was sort of warm and inviting. Yeah. I guess when you look at the entry point, for me, I was a bit more blown away, to be honest, with Standard X, because they had this incredible red portal that
revolving door
that you walk through, and you know straight away, it just felt.
What is it about revolving doors? It's kind of like revolving doors because there's a bit of a time element that you have to get right. It kind of makes you stop and really think. I think about like that transition, because you're so aware of like, oh, I've got to like time this right.
Yeah,
that you really notice. You know, entering into the building, don't you?
Yeah. So there was that entry was quite iconic in my mind. And then Hyde.
I love their reception counter, how they had that sort of like that draped fabric element to their reception counter, and then they had that massive big screen where they had all those artworks being projected behind the reception counter. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite high ceilings.
Yeah.
And then, so I guess what I found different though about Standard X was they had more spaces immediately to sort of hang out at.
It was a larger
It was
sort of
more of
lobby.
a hangout vibe, whereas, Hyde Melbourne Place was more sort of probably felt like you check in and then you go straight upstairs.
Yeah, I guess on the ground floor, their space was probably a bit more limited for what they had to play with. But let's talk about like the Standard X lobby and what that sort of had in it. Like it had, some communal seating. It had a lounge space that you can actually sort of cordon off with a big, like heavy curtain. You can book that out for private workshops and functions.
Yeah, it had really quite beautiful, eclectic original artworks. Like at the front entry, they had one beautiful armchair that, was like just a hero piece.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd sit in it because it was like right there. It was more like, well, you could sit in it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then obviously they had, like you said, the restaurant area or sort of where you have the
so
breakfast.
they had the ground floor, restaurant, didn't they? I think it was called
Just
Bang.
Yeah.
Restaurant, which was really cool.
And while we were having a tour around, we actually spotted it, the celebrity chef Shannon Bennett.
We did.
Which at the time we couldn't reveal because it was all hush-hush, but he's since done a pop-up restaurant there.
Yeah, called Bistro X. And I think it was like for 3 months he was doing a pop-up. So, that's probably coming to an end soon. But, that was exciting
great.
Celebrity spotting.
It was. It had a really great vibe.
Yeah,
so it's a Thai-inspired food, Bang. But one thing that I really loved was they blurred those edges. So it wasn't just like, this is the restaurant, this is it was like, the check-in area kind of blended in with some other relaxed sort of seating, high bar seating.
Yeah.
And then it became the restaurant, which was like a combination of banquettes with tables that can be pushed together.
Yeah.
Then you had the private sort of dining room, which actually, like you mentioned before, was a big, thick curtain that would just be pulled across.
Yeah.
And then to the very front of the facade, sort of in the corner area, was the communal sort of tables where people can just get together.
Yeah.
Local community, people can just
just
pop
to
in,
hang
have
out
their
for
breakfast.
Coffee. Yeah. Yeah. And I think the proximity to the local markets and everything was awesome.
Yeah,
there
so it was the rose markets, and then there were the vintage markets over the road where Jill picked up the most epic.
I should be wearing it now. Actually, we're doing the Melbourne episode.
I know.
Next episode.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll do another episode because we did quite a bit while we were in Melbourne.
Yeah,
we're just going to hone in on the hotels at the moment.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous jacket for living in Queensland.
Yeah.
But
and then I was like, well, I have to get a fur jacket as well. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it was a really great hotel. And I think next time we loved both, but if we have to book, is it too soon to say or should we leave it to the end?
Leave it to the end.
Okay, you'll have to wait and see because it could be either.
Just quickly, like another little feature that the lobby had at Standard X was their little gift shop where they had all the local – it was like a local pantry, wasn't it, where they had, all the little snacks and –
But it was all like personalised, to the branding of the hotel.
Yeah.
It was quite different. It was like you go in a cold room actually.
Yeah.
And you can come in and pick, and they even had like fresh sort of vegetables.
Cheeses, wines.
Yeah.
Different sort of spritzes, that sort of thing. We had a cheeky spritz at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
We're not telling anyone about that.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's talk about like the individual personality and style. Like after spending a bit of time in the space, like what was the general like vibe that we were thinking? Were they both authentically Melbourne? Like I feel that Melbourne Place was almost like the grown-up older sister, a bit more sophisticated.
Yes.
It was sort of more CBD. It was a bit, like
a bit more polished.
Yeah. And then, Standard X was a bit more kind of youthful, edgy. So, like, I think it's great that, they have obviously identified a target market and then they're designing for that target market.
Yeah. Because I guess we had access as well to the penthouse at Hyde Melbourne Place, which was really exciting to go up there and have a look.
Yeah.
That was probably my favourite place in the entire hotel.
Yeah.
What about you?
Look, I actually loved I loved the pink function room.
Mm-hmm. The magenta room?
Yeah, the magenta room. I just love that bold pop of colour. But personally, I really love the room design at Melbourne Place. Like that's somewhere where I would, easily hang out and stay and just, while the hours away in a bath reading a book. I love the rooms. Yeah.
So like when it comes to interior design and the rooms and the lobbies, I think straight away the vibe, I love how you called it the older sister, but Melbourne Place, it was colour drenching. It was just, so I was saying to you earlier, in certain places I've worked, it's a big no-no to specify just block colour Axminster because you're going to see everything and you need to have
bit of fluff.
You need to have stipple and all this, and fair enough, but I think it was actually bold and brave, and I admired the interior design team who just went for it and they sort of probably against the norm, and you've got corridors that are just the same like deep blue or there was like that kind of foresty green in some areas, and the lighting, like it was really cool, really different. So it was refreshing, and then they had there was a common thread throughout the whole building. So at the facade they say that the two big sort of round openings are like the eyes.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like a face. The facade's like a face.
Yeah,
but they
quite
carried,
playful.
Yeah, they carry the round detail through. So in the bathrooms you've got a little portal in the shower area that you can look through and see the bedroom. Yeah. Just up high. Yeah. But there was that even throughout the light fittings as you went throughout the lobbies.
The wall lights had the little round cutout detail in them, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. So they sort of brought that through. And then what about the restaurant area and the bar area? Like the tiling on the floor was really cool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was and then they had these suspended pendants, like little drop bulbs everywhere.
Yes.
Which felt quite fragile, I guess, when you come out. It was unexpected.
Yeah. So I guess, because Hyde Melbourne Place, that had Mr. Mills on the ground floor, but it was kind of like a separate entry to the hotel, wasn't it? So that was one of their hospitality offerings at Hyde Melbourne Place, and then they had the rooftop restaurant and bar as well, plus that massive function room space. Yeah.
So we're talking about the rooftop restaurant and bar, which had sort of like that really heavily mosaic tile flooring, which then wrapped up the front of the bar. Then you turn left and you come out, and you've got the terrace area with
the outdoor fireplace.
Yeah,
it's always good for Melbourne.
That's right. So it's really great. I mean, if you jump on and check them out on Instagram too, because they've got some beautiful photos. And
and then Standard X, if we're talking about hotel rooms as well, they had that striped carpet detail, which I really liked.
So it was a navy blue and white sort of. It had a bit of a nautical vibe to it, I thought.
Did, and then there was the mosaic tiles in the bathrooms. But I feel like
blue grout.
Yeah. But it was like the hotel rooms at Standard X, they looked amazing, but it did have that kind of youthful energy to them, didn't it? It was sort of a bit more fresh, white. Whereas I guess Melbourne
Place was a bit darker, moodier.
Yeah.
Once again, colour drenching. So walls were quite a dark colour. The bed head, it was like cozy. It was nice.
It was almost like a cocooning effect because colour drenching's all well and good, but you've got to be, I think, so careful with the tone of the colour that you use, especially in a space like a hotel room, because you don't want it to be too overpowering. Yeah. And I think they've got it like just perfect, really.
Yeah. Standard X. Their lobbies were also moody, but it was done in a different way. And I think they used lighting more in a way to kind of achieve those sort of like light and shade moments where you're kind of coming out of a darker, moodier corridor. They did really cool lighting on the entries at the front of each room as you go into your hotel room. But I liked that you go from a darker corridor and then open the door and you sort of got the natural light coming in, and they had sort of different finishes as well. There was a lot of like polished chrome.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was like polished chrome, the blue and white carpet,
the white
crisp
tile.
bedding,
Yeah.
white tile.
Yeah.
They were quite clever in their space planning where they had the bathrooms had a really thin fluted glass screen.
Yeah, so instead
of having a solid wall, they're borrowing that space so you could have a larger ensuite, which I thought was really clever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, instead of building the thickness of a full height partition, you're just borrowing every millimetre of space to maximise that.
Yeah.
And having those sliding glazing screens. Yeah. I actually really loved the rooftop space on Standard X. Like, again, like that had a freestanding outdoor fire, but even just like the landscaping that they'd done up there, and I loved the view of like the Fitzroy, and then you could look back and see sort of the Melbourne CBD as well. Like that had like an amazing sort of feeling up there, and that's actually only open to guests when we did the tour at that time. Like so, it was a private rooftop, only open to guests. But I believe that they are. Like there were some discussions that they were going to be opening up another sort of hospitality venue up there as well. So, keep an eye on that.
That's right. I loved it as well. It was probably the part of my whole tour where it just got me over the line. I'm going to say it right now. I'm dying to tell you.
She really wants to tell you what the favourite was.
Well, as if they can't tell by now. But I really did love Standard X. It was inspiring. It was refreshing. There were so many different spaces. I would definitely check in there next time. We're in Melbourne to get the full experience. But, the rooftop area was just so lovely. It was a nice reprieve from kind of the city vibes. It had almost like a little bit of a Mexican feel to it. Did you think that?
It did actually.
Like it had,
I think it was like all those succulents and things up there, but
And they sort of had like the weathered timber, but then these beautiful like terracotta colours, natural colours, tied in really well with the Corten steel.
Yeah. Okay, so your second date would be the Standard X?
Yes, hands down. What about you?
I'm a little bit more on the fence. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I guess, I loved the rooms in Hyde Melbourne Place, but if we're going for like an overall feeling and experience, then it would be Standard X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's that? What's my answer? Like, is that a hybrid or we just like yeah.
All right.
That's where we are.
That's what will be next time.
Yeah. And staying with the hotel design thread, I find that I'm really being inspired at the moment with Lambs and Lions Studio. So they are based in Berlin and they've been around since about 2012. So, yes, some of their projects include a lot of the Casa Cook hotels, which are in sort of the Greek islands, Mediterranean areas, and that includes Casa Cook at Kos, there's one at Rhodes and also Crete in one of the Greek islands as well. So why I find them inspiring at the moment is they use a lot of like beautiful natural finishes that are inspired by the Mediterranean deserts, and they really draw that into their interior design. Like so raw timbers, there's a lot of, I guess, like more sort of brutalist style concrete, but then they have these beautiful textural renders, natural stone, and their designs are quite minimal, I would say, in their style, but it's sort of like what they do best is understated luxury. So, luxury doesn't always have to be bright gold, shiny, over the top. I find that, a lot of the time like space is luxury.
That's true.
Beautiful quality finishes, like beautiful natural stones for me is luxury that you can touch and feel, considered joinery detailing as well. Yeah. With a lot of their designs, like they have a balance between like privacy intimacy and like social spaces as well in these hotels. So, you know, a lot of the rooms have their own little like private plunge pools, that sort of thing. But then they also encourage that sort of community, you know, socialization in the lobby spaces and the restaurant spaces as well. Yeah.
Sounds lovely.
I've been looking at, you know, their work, you know, sort of as inspiration for, you know, some Mediterranean style restaurants I've been working on at the moment. Yeah. So that's sort of my design muse for the week.
Love it.
Yeah.
I feel like I just want to book a holiday and go there. Okay, so Jill picked this game. I've never used Tinder. I don't care like if anyone has. Have you? No, of course you haven't, because we've been both married for like over 10 years. So anyway, for those out there, we thought it'd be a bit fun, just like create a game that's kind of date-ish called Swipe Left, Swipe Right, Hotel Edition. All right, so this is the way the game works. So swipe right is a yes, love it, would keep it in a hotel.
Okay.
Swipe left is no, reject it, design deal breaker. Okay, so I'm going to say out a number of prompts. Those listening, feel free to join along. We'll see how compatible we are.
Yeah.
And then, we'll just tally it up and work it out at the end. So are you ready? How are you going? You feeling ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Number 1, upholstered headboards in every room.
Right.
Number 2, sensor-controlled taps. Left. Open concept bathrooms. Right.
Right, but I think there still needs to be some enclosure with the toilets and
Okay, next one. Room service arriving late but with a beautifully presented tray.
ooh, left.
Left.
When you're hungry, you're hungry.
I don't like to be kept waiting.
I do like presentation though. Presentation counts, but only if it's on time.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. Pattern carpet straight out of the 1970s?
Right.
Left. Sorry. I guess I could go heavily patterned if it was the right colours.
Yeah.
It's a tough one though.
If I was staying in a genuine 1970s hotel, like yes.
I know.
Keep that shit.
Yeah. Okay. Mini bars stocked with quirky local snacks?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, except not like crickets or
No,
anything like
no.
that. Not too quirky.
Yeah, what defines quirky? Feather down pillows. Left.
I'm not a fan of feather pillows.
Give it away.
No.
No, not good. Next, mirror-lined elevators for selfies. Right.
Right.
Room with disco ball over bed.
Right. We went to one just recently. In an upcoming episode, we will feature a motel room with a disco ball.
But it wasn't over the bed though.
Well, no.
I love that you're, disco ball over the bed. I'll probably go past. I'll go left.
Okay.
Next, colour-drenched rooms.
Right.
When it comes to hotel rooms, I'm going to go left.
Okay.
Online self-check-in.
Left.
Left.
I like connection.
So
I like having a real person to talk to that knows their stuff. You can ask them questions about the local area, advice. Like it's just that
It's that human element that seems to be disappearing.
I love face-to-face like service and hospitality. Like it's that welcome person.
Yeah.
You know, as you first walk in.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. So important.
Lobby bar as the local hangout.
No brainer. Right.
Hotel branded stationery.
Right. We're analog girls.
Yeah. Local boutique toiletries.
Right. Yeah. I love that. The integration of like, you know, it's just like supporting local business as well. It's all just part of the story, I think, of where you're staying. Like I think that's any opportunity where you can integrate local products in the hotel is, no brainer. Yeah.
And finally, complimentary minibar.
I've already mentioned this, so you know my answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't tally it up, but I do feel like, you know, most of our answers were all right. A couple there. But, you know, honestly, hotel
feather pillows,
stays.
nightmare.
No, don't do it.
I don't know what it is. Some people love them, but I don't know. You fluff them up at the start of the night and by like an hour later they're flat as a pancake. I just don't.
I also just don't like the thought of it like being an animal, like feather and the
that doesn't bother me.
Pointiness of the feather.
I've had sometimes
that
you get the stray feather.
And it's like, no, no thanks. All right, so that next segment, let's jump to the sweet bite. And it's me this week.
Yes.
And I've recently come across something online. I thought I'd just share, no gatekeeping.
Yeah. Should we bring it up? Do you want me to bring it up?
Yeah, let's bring it up.
Okay.
So it's called the Style Sourcebook, and it's a free
What's the
online,
website?
so stylesourcebook.com.au. It's a free mood board creator for designers. It's a design tool that I stumbled across. And I think, personally, I've not used it necessarily to make mood boards. So what I use it for is if, I'm looking for a particular, more so styling element. So furniture, lighting, could be even like bedding, because often I do projects where I'm sort of brought in on that phase. And it's just a really great way to basically you jump in. If you're online now, have a look. Across the top, you've got the different rooms. It's more geared towards residential projects, but once again, hospitality or hotel, like they all overlap anyway.
Exactly.
So say, for instance, you click on the bathroom tab, straight away you're brought up with all the different categories, so you could jump to basins or any of those.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, and so when you're sourcing product, what's great about it, I guess, it's also an Australian website. So straight away you've got access to this beautiful, clean website page. It's got all different options of basins, countertop, underbench, stone.
Colour ceramic basins. They've got natural stone basins, like stainless steel.
So it's sort of like a little black book, I guess, of some tried and tested products. But then obviously all the suppliers, you're looking at TradeLink, Fienza, Beaumont Tiles, Duraclass, Timberline, ABI Interiors, Highgrove, Oliveri, Blue Space. Like there's lots of brands.
Like a shortcut instead of going to all those individual websites.
Pages.
You come here, and then you can see all the different options in front of you. Yeah,
so
cool.
it's just a really great tool. And then the other way you can use it is if you go to mood boards on the right-hand side, there's a tab, mood boards. So designers all around Australia and the world are using this to put together mood boards for their projects, or it might even just be for inspo or even for branding kind of awareness and getting themselves out there, because you can stumble across, maybe if you're renovating a project, you're not a designer, you're looking for a designer. This is a great way to discover someone that's got your aesthetic. Yeah, I just wanted to share that today because I think a lot of people listening, will find it useful. And it's just one way, one other stream to kind of look at when you're sourcing things.
Yeah.
To kind of really go down that avenue. But obviously, like I've got my own little black book of all the brands and finishes that I like to use.
Yeah.
But I think we shouldn't ever just pigeonhole ourselves in and say, okay, every time I use a laminate, I'm using that brand. It's like we need to keep educating ourselves and,
there's new companies
products
popping up all the time, especially for like home decor, table lamps, vases, artworks, that sort of thing. So, I hadn't heard of this before. So I think that's really great for all those like styling and furniture items, that I didn't know about. And I think it's great that they're actually Australian products that you can get physically here. It's not just like it's in Pinterest land where it could be like an AI generated image, or it's like, that's only available in the US.
Yeah.
These are actually real products that you can buy.
Yeah. And I mean, I haven't used it to the full capacity, but you go down the rabbit hole, have a look at what it offers. There's, you can log in, create an account. We're not sponsored or anything like that. It's just about sort of sharing some tools and things that we're coming across on our personal journeys as designers.
Yeah.
So that's my one for this week.
Very good. Love it.
Thanks. And I guess that leads us to the end of our episode 2.
Yes.
And it's been so fun.
I know. I've loved this dirty martini, I have to
thanks.
say. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's us for this week. Cheers.
Cheers.